Hey everybody.
ABE Black Business Live.
Hey
Guest
everybody.
this week is Bond Consulting Group. Starting the new year off right, taking care of our physical, mental,
Hey
and spiritual
everybody.
wellness. Dr.
Hey
Bond will
everybody.
be talking to us about 3 different levels of coaching that she offers and
Snowing
why
over
these
here on the
skills are
East
needed for
Coast.
success.
Everybody
Are there
snowed in.
any
Everybody got their
entrepreneurs and
treats.
leaders
Got
in
their
the
ice cream. Got
house?
their cookies.
Dr.
Put
Bond
it
will
in
be
the comments.
introducing
Everybody got their
her
goodies,
coaching
or we
plans for
dieting. What we doing? Put
entrepreneurs
it in the
and
comments.
leaders on All Black Everything Black Business Live Friday at 9 p.m. You do not want to miss this
Thank
live.
y'all so
The
much for
skills
coming
Dr.
out.
Bond teaches: build yourself, build your
Thank y'all
family,
so
and
much for
then
coming out.
build your community. Let's go. Join us Friday at 9
Somebody said they
p.m.
got their wine. Long as I got my wine, I'm fine, huh?
Guest this week is Bond Consulting Group.
Snowed in over here on the
Starting the
East
new year
Coast.
off right.
Everybody,
Taking
what
care of
y'all
our
eating?
physical,
Somebody got some cookies?
mental, and
Yes,
spiritual
yes, yes, yes. The
wellness.
salvia cookies is my
Dr. Bond
favorite.
will be
Oh my
talking
goodness.
to us
Yes,
about
yes,
3
yes. Put
different
in the
levels
comments what you
of
got for us
coaching
snowed
that
in,
she
baby. I got
offers
some
and
Wow Wow
why these
pretzels.
skills
Oh,
are needed for success.
that's a
Are there
shame.
any entrepreneurs and leaders
That
in
is
the
a shame.
house?
Okay, we
Dr.
about to
Bond will
get
be
started in a
introducing
minute.
her coaching
What you see
plans
right here
for
is our
entrepreneurs
commercial.
and
I'm
leaders
so excited.
on
This is
All Black
such an
Everything Black
important
Business Live
ABE Black
Friday
Business
at
Live.
9
But for
p.m.
right
You do
now,
not want to miss
hi,
this
my name is
live.
Mika
The
Johnson.
skills
Some people
Dr.
call me
Bond
MJ,
teaches:
and I'm the
build yourself,
curator of
build your
All
family,
Black
and then
Everything Pop
build
Up.
your
And what
community.
All Black Everything Pop Up
Let's
is,
go.
we
Join us
curate
Friday at 9
these
p.m.
spaces for Black businesses
ABE Black
to
Business
make
Live.
money,
Guest this week
to
is
tell their
Bond Consulting
stories,
Group.
and to get
Starting the new
their
year off
product
right,
out
taking
there.
care of our
And what we
physical,
do is we
mental,
do
and
this
spiritual
every Friday at
wellness.
9 p.m.
Dr.
And
Bond
we
will
want
be
that economy to
talking
be
to
for
us
them.
about
Of
3
course, you could
different
purchase whenever
levels
you want.
of
All of the
coaching
businesses
that
have
she
websites,
offers
right?
and
But
why these
we
skills
want to
are needed
show
for
our money
success. Are there
circulating
any
at a certain
entrepreneurs and
time.
leaders in the house? Dr.
Right.
Bond will be introducing
At
her
a certain
coaching
time, at a
plans
certain
for
place. And
entrepreneurs
that is
and
what
leaders
this is
on
all
All Black
about. So
Everything Black
welcome, welcome,
Business
welcome
Live
everybody that came
Friday
to
at 9
ABE Black
p.m. You
Business
do not want to miss
Live.
this
So I'm
live.
going to turn
The
this
skills
off,
Dr. Bond.
stop sharing this, and listen. All Black Everything has a website, and it's All Black Everything Pop Up. We have t-shirts and sweatshirts for sale. Go on there now. They are on sale. So just please purchase, shop, tell a friend to tell a friend, because it's about to be Black History Month. I know I'm a Target fan too, but Target has seasonal Black History Month. We dedicate our page to Black businesses. So all year round, 365 days, not just for a season. So I'm like, Target, no, come over here and shop, right? So go to our website, shop, tell a friend. Tonight, though, we are going to start our new year off right with wellness, emotional intelligence, and learning how to navigate this entrepreneurship, this leadership with your family, your community, because it all trickles down to the community. Once you heal, you can heal your family, and then you can heal your community. So that's the great part of this. Dr. Bond will be coming on in just a second, and we're going to go through the 3 tiers of coaching that she offers, but we're going to go through her journey and let her tell her story and why she's in this why she's in this field, and why it is on her heart to help the Black community understand wellness, not think wellness is corny, build these communities for us to just meditate, breathe, and learn our own selves. So, Dr. Bond, I am about to bring you on. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. I appreciate it. Dr. Bond,
Mika Johnson, Mika, how are you, babe?
thank you so much for coming on. Please tell the audience who you are and
Okay.
what your business is.
So, good night, everybody. Good evening. I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. So, I am Dr. Deanna Bond. I am a psychologist and wellness coach. I also provide support to educators, leaders, entrepreneurs around personal and professional development. I've been in the field for about 20 plus years. I have undergraduate degrees, master's degrees, as well as a doctorate in psychology. And it's always been important for me, as I was raised in my community, it was always important for us to make sure that we give back to our communities. And I feel that, just through the work that I've done, working with young people, as well as working with adults, it's always important for me to give back to my community as best that I can. So I decided in 2019, once I was on my journey to finish my doctorate degree, I decided to start my own consulting company to basically support, again, leaders and entrepreneurs, educators, teams on ways in which they can leverage emotional intelligence, learn to have a wellness mindset, and really build the strategies that they need in order to be successful, in their personal lives as well as their professional and educational journeys. I, for many years, have been a lifelong educator, but also have been a lifelong student myself. So I understand the path in which it takes for us to be able to be in the right mindset to complete the goals that we want to complete. Again, whether it's professional, personal, or just giving back to our community. So I thank you for holding space tonight, and hopefully we'll get a good group of people that can come tonight, and then also to rewatch the live so they could just learn more about the importance of wellness.
Yes. Well, give them your website. I have pinned everybody. Just make sure, give me some hearts if you can see what I have pinned. I have her link tree pinned because once we go through everything is right there on her link tree. But can you please shout out your website?
So it is www.bond, so that's BOND, consult, CONSULT, group.com. Anybody can go on. You can check out the services that we provide, get some additional information about who I am and, again, why I started the company. And then you'll be able to access the link from there as well to see the different services that I offer.
So let's start. Let's go.
Yes.
You ready, Dr. Bond? You look so
I'm
beautiful.
ready.
Dr. Bond on the side. Dr. Bond gives me all the tips on makeup. Okay, she will send me my makeup stuff in a minute. Like, try this, try that, and it always be on point. So thank you for that sidebar. So let's go. Start. I want to start your journey off. In college. I want people to understand, like, how you got here. To the woman that I came to her apartment, I never seen a Black woman meditating in my life. I'm like, what the hell is she doing? Like, am I lying? Right?
No,
so how did you get from the person from college to that person? And I mean, further now, but that person I saw.
And to be honest with you, Mika, it actually started just in my childhood. I'll share just a little bit, just a quick snippet. I was raised by a single mother, raised in a home with my sisters. My father is currently serving life in prison. And then just on that journey of, being a child of an incarcerated parent. But again, my mother always made sure we gave back to the community and also just made sure that we found ways to express ourselves, whether it's through the arts, whether it's to, just doing community service, right? And then my journey really went from there on saying, like, how could I, when it was time for me to go to college, like, what could I major in? And originally, I, of course, everybody went into a medical field. So I wanted to be a physical therapist because growing up, my grandmother had a stroke and was paralyzed. So my first thing was, how can I do this in order to give back or to help someone similar to what my grandmother experienced. And I got to my freshman year and I took a psychology 101 course. And I was like, you know what? I realized that when we think about how we help people physically, it always starts with us mentally, right? So psychology became the major that I majored in. I got my degree from Temple University. And then after that, I decided, I was working with students who were coming through the juvenile delinquent system. And a lot of those students were coming back to schools, coming back to the communities, and they really weren't being received. You know, schools didn't necessarily want them in their buildings, and communities really didn't know how to support them when they came back to the communities. So I said to myself, okay, I'm helping them come back, but nobody really wants them when they do come back. And I decided to go back to school to get my master's degree in counseling psychology, and specifically in school guidance, because I decided that if I could catch them while they're in our school buildings, while they're still in our communities, maybe I could make a difference, and not catching them on the other end when they were returning. So I then decided to, you know what, just continue to work in education as a counselor. I did a lot of mental health work. And then in about 2005, my sister and I lost my mother to domestic violence. And again, it just continued to be different things that happen, right? Like tragedies that happen. And we all go through experiences in life, right? But it was important for me to figure out ways on how I can transfer some of this grief, how I could transfer some of the pain that I was feeling, and learn how to then support students or families that may have gone through something similar or just was in our communities. And then eventually going and being a guidance counselor, I realized that a lot of our students, we kept pushing them to go to college and have these careers. But like most of us in college, if you're a first generation student, you get to college and you don't know what to do. You got to have those soft skills, what we usually call them, what I now call emotional intelligence skills, right? You have to have those soft skills like becoming who you are, learning to be self-aware, being socially aware of the things around you, knowing how to pick the right friends, pick the right majors. So all those things came into effect when I decided to go back and get my master's degree. And then working in education, I just said, you know what, I always wanted to get a doctorate. I always wanted to be a PhD level professional. So I decided to go back to get my doctorate in psychology. And as I was working in education, I realized a lot of my students, while I was supporting them and helping them create goals, to go off to college or to have a career, they really weren't necessarily staying in college. They couldn't necessarily keep the job. And then I realized it was those skills, those emotional intelligence skills that, again, we call soft skills, whether it's how do you analyze things, and how do you build relationships when you get to the job? How do you talk to your supervisor when they're giving you a directive and you don't know how to respond appropriately? So I decided to do my dissertation on the student's perspective of how to use social emotional skills. And when I realized that I was teaching our students to learn these social emotional skills, a lot of times the adults that were working with our students didn't know how to use those skills as well. And that's what transformed into Bond Consulting Group, was to help adults really learn how to leverage emotional intelligence skills in order to advance in their lives.
I have to stop you. I have to stop you. First of all, where are the hearts? Give Dr. Bond some hearts up in this piece, up in here, up in here, up in here, up in here. Your story is amazing.
Everybody, thank you.
And your story is amazing, and how you triumph through that is everything. But it's so crazy because I've learned in therapy that when you don't have a word for something, you will never know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So on a podcast that you were on,
mm-hmm.
you said this word. And
yes.
the thing that I just went through, it directly was what I needed in that situation. And it was the words, what?
Imposter syndrome. Emotional intelligence.
Please explain what emotional intelligence means, and give a scenario, and then, a scenario so we can, let's go.
Absolutely. So emotional intelligence basically is a person's ability to be able to be self-aware, be able to self-regulate their emotions, be socially aware of the things around them and the people around them and how those people respond to life experiences. The ability to also build positive relationships, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a business relationship, and most importantly, like, how do we make effective decisions? So a lot of times we don't realize those are the things that we are doing. And again, in my journey, emotional intelligence has been the key, other than my faith in God, my family and friends. But again, I am a person that will pray as well as meditate. And as I shared in one of our courses that we had, for me, prayer is when I'm talking to God, and meditation is when I learn to be quiet and listen. So for me, I can do both, and I try to teach people to do both of those things. But also, too, the emotional intelligence piece is what has really helped me to advance in my career. Early on in my journey or in my path of working in the field of counseling and psychology, people always saw this leadership ability in me. And sometimes I wasn't always sure if I was ready for it, but it was always kind of thrown into these roles. And when I was thrown into those roles, I wasn't necessarily given the skills that I needed to be a successful leader. So as I kept self-reflecting, and I do that often, is just kind of self-reflect on, where I need to be as a professional. How do I need to be a stronger leader for my team? But also, too, in order for me to be a stronger leader, I have to be emotionally well. Like I tell my teams all the time, if we're not well, how can we help others? Like, how can we help other students? How can we help other adults if we're not mentally, spiritually, physically well? So I am big on mental health days. So it's important for us to do that. But yes, the emotional intelligence is used in different ways. In earlier times, we call it soft skills, like I said. In education with students, we call it social emotional learning. And then when you get to the adult level, it really is about emotional intelligence.
Can you
And
give
when
us
I
a scenario? Like,
sure.
put it, like, not saying in layman's terms, but yeah, but in layman's terms.
Actually, okay. So I was going to give you an example of when I finished my doctorate degree and was trying to just figure out where I wanted to go in my journey. I realized that I was suffering from imposter syndrome. And for me, that really is about self-awareness. Like, how do you then self-reflect?
I'm sorry, what is imposter syndrome?
Sure. So imposter syndrome is really when you feel like you're a fraud, when you aren't sure that you can fulfill the role or fulfill a task, or you feel like somebody is going to see you as a fraud and not capable of what you're able to do. So for me, it was a shock. I don't know at the time, like I don't really know many psychologists. I didn't know really many Black psychologists. And so for me, it was a journey for me to build community and learn to go out and reach out to other Black psychologists to kind of build my own community. And also, too, when I'm in space with people that don't look like me, don't come from the same background as me, to not be, be afraid or have fear of being in the same room as them, and making sure that I know the experience I have in the work that I've done, that I'm capable of being in the same room that they're in. So for me, when you think about emotional intelligence, a lot of it deals with being self-aware of who you are, self-aware of who you want to be, and what you want to do with your life, reaching your full potential. When it comes to teams, I am very socially aware of what my teams need. I'm very socially aware of my experience when it comes to learning what my team members need professionally. For me, if a team member has leadership skills, like how do you make sure that you're building those leadership skills and giving them leadership opportunities? While they may not be a director or supervisor, you do give them the opportunity to show the skills that they have. You give them the opportunity to be a leader within the team when it's necessary. And me as a director or me as a leader, it doesn't always have to be me being the one to lead a task. So it always is important for us to be socially aware of what others experience. And I'm very conscious of people's own personal experiences because I have teams from multiple cultures, male, female. So again, you have to figure out what that person experience has been and how do you leverage those experiences to build them as leaders, even if it doesn't become a leadership role.
How do you, because we always, you the leader. I'll be like, how you doing? Because you're the person, am I lying that one week? I was like, no, I sent you a thing. I think my girlfriend Michael sent me this like poem, like who checks on y'all, right?
Yes.
I know you told me this story, but what do you do when you get frustrated at work? Give us some examples of like these awesome things that you do when you are frustrated or something doesn't go right or anything like that when you are in a work environment. Let's go.
I think for me, it's being able to take that time to self-reflect on how is this experience making me feel? being, again, conscious of what the other person may have be experienced and why they're responding to you the way they respond. I think a lot of times we take things personal, when sometimes, I mean, sometimes it can be personal in the workplace, but most oftentimes people are just trying to get the work done, just trying to get tasks done. So I always try to make sure that I step back and analyze the entire situation. And I analyze on ways in which I can work, and collaborate more with a person or another team member. Hear their side of the story, or hear their experience in the work environment, and then figure out ways we can come together to resolve whatever conflict we may be having, or again, a solution to a problem we may be able to solve. I think, again, it's leveraging each other's skills, right? So leveraging somebody else's expertise, because for me, I don't always have to be the right person in the room, right? I'm not the loudest person in the room. I'm very assertive and I speak up, but sometimes I'm more the person that sits back and will analyze the room and analyze what's being said before I speak. And I think that, to me, has been a skill that I had to learn over time, because sometimes when you're in a room with people that have more experiences, or will doubt who you are as a professional, you feel the need to express yourself or get your point across. So I had to learn, again, over time, which is an emotional intelligence skill, is learn how to sit back, analyze, and assess before you just automatically make a decision.
These are skills that I'm learning. Some people are born with certain things, right? And then some things you have to learn, and you have to know that you have to learn that.
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing. Like, us as a people, we don't have the words. Like, you're in that field, not saying it like that, D, but you're in that field. So you know all these words: imposter syndrome, emotional intelligence. I didn't hear that till I was 43 years old.
Absolutely.
So it's all these words that we don't know that could help us, but we don't know those words, right? So we say things like move in silence.
Yes.
You and one of my friends, that's what y'all do. And I never knew what that meant until experience I had.
Absolutely.
And now I'm like, oh, this is what this means. But this is one of those skills that you are talking about. But what would you name that skill? That move in silence skill? What would that skill be called?
So for me, it's multiple skills that fall under like emotional intelligence, right? Like, there's these key broad terms that we use, but the move in silence really is, again, about how do we assess a situation, and when do we speak up? When do we share? When do we collaborate? Because sometimes when we share things, sometimes people are not always for us, right? And if they are for us, you know it. And when they're not, you know it as well. And then sometimes things that come to us, or things that people say to us, are, good, intent. And sometimes we do need to hear the hard truth. I think we have to make sure that we realize that we have to hear the hard truth. But for me, the whole concept of moving in silence is not to keep things from people necessarily. It's about, how am I reflecting on where I want this journey to go. Sometimes my move in silence is me listening to God. It has nothing to do or anything personal to other people, but it allows me to figure out what the next step may be. And when it's time for me to reach out to someone to say, hey, I need your help with this, or what do you think about this concept or this thing. Even in my own business, most of my friends are not necessarily in the field of psychology. Most of my friends, and if they are in the field of education, or is a small number of us that are in education, but a lot of my friends are, entrepreneurs. They have their own businesses. So sometimes it's okay to reach out to them and say, hey, what do you think about this? So when I thought about building out the business, it really was important for me to say, okay, it can't just be from my experience. While I can share my experience with others, I really need to be listening to other people. So the move in silent for me really is to be able to take myself through a process that allows me to fully assess what my next decision may need to be.
I mean, I could just we think so quick. Everything is so fast. We go so fast. This phone is so fast. Everything is so fast. And when something if you don't know that skill, you're immediately mad, or you're immediately saying what you feel off the top of your head.
Absolutely.
Right? Or you're instead of just stepping back breathing, like you said, breathing, going in another room, getting yourself together, and assessing it. So,
and it is okay to walk away. It is okay to walk away, right?
Say it one more time.
It is okay to walk away. Again, I tell my team members all the time, even when it was time for us to send out an email to somebody, I tell them they better read their email 3 times, right? You read it at least 3 times to make sure.
She dropped the gem for you.
Make sure you read that email 3 times, right? Because at the same time, we're professionals. And we have to step back, reflect, respond, because we don't want to have the wrong, reaction to a situation. So yeah, that's just, what you have to do. But it is okay to walk away and come back to a situation.
Okay. So thank you, Steve. Listen, we got some comments in here, and the comment section is so good. Kenneth Walk has been, Steve,
hey,
life, like
hi, Steve.
Casimira, everybody is just like on it. Like this is just a great conversation. I want to keep it going. I just want to pause for a minute, let everybody know what they're watching. You're watching ABE Black Business Live. We are with Bond Consult Group. It's Bond Consulting Group, and please follow her. All her information is pinned. If you can't see the pin, let me know. But everything is pinned. It's at BCG.
Hey, everybody.
It's at BCG _LLC. Again, at BCG _LLC. And this is for my replay people because they're not going to be able to see all of the feed and everything. They're not going to be able to see the pin. So right now I have pinned her link tree because her link tree has all 3 of the different levels of coaching that she offers. Because at 9:30, what we do is called a shop and sell. Well, of course, Dr. Bond has a service that she sells, but it nonetheless, we shopping and selling at 9:30. Okay, so she offers three level coaches 3 different webinars, seminars, and she'll tell you all these different things. But I was blessed to purchase one. Was it the EI? And that was for Black Friday. I got that on sale. It's on sale. She's going to tell you about that. But then I was also blessed to be invited, and all Instagram was invited, but to be invited into this community. And it was a free community. And we only had 1 session, but it was so special. Dr. Bond, can you tell us about it? Real quick.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mika. Hey now, hey everybody. Thank you again for joining. So what I did was, I honestly, Mika is the reason why my e-course dropped. While I launched my website, I kept trying to figure out ways in which to reach the community as much as I can. I'm only one person, but at the same time, I wanted to be able to give as much information as I can to our communities. Because again, like I said, oftentimes in my leadership roles, I necessarily wasn't given leadership training. So it was important for me to be able to give services to a lot of individuals. So both leaders, entrepreneurs, of course, and educators. So what I do offer is an e-course series. So we have an e-course that we have on our website, which is emotional intelligence and how leaders can leverage those in the workplace. So a lot of the team members. So Mika actually had us selling products for Black Friday. And while we were trying to come up with things to sell, I said, you know what, Mika, I'm gonna sell an e-course. Something fast that the community can actually take that's tangible, and they can actually use that and leverage that when they're in work. So how do you use emotional intelligence in the workplace for leaders and entrepreneurs? So that's the e-course that I offer. It's actually on my link tree. It is $40. It was on sale for $40 for Black Friday. And you know what? I said, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it at $40. You can get it for $40. Especially because I want to make sure that people can afford those resources and get it. So I hope that if anybody wants to purchase that e-course, they can. So it's important. So while I have been a leadership development trainer for many years, training adults in the field of education, I wanted to do that. And then I would decide, you know what? I want to give something back to the community because I know that during New Year's, everybody wants to make this big shift. Everybody says for New Year's, I'm going to do this whole transformation. I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to get a coach. I'm gonna build out this business. And then most times, by the time you get through the month, by the time you get half through the year, you haven't checked off most of the boxes, right? Or you haven't gone back to it, or you go back to it and you change it. So I decided to offer a master course to our community for free. I had a group of great individuals that joined this masterclass and just have a conversation about how do we shift our mindsets to basically have a growth mindset on what is important around emotional intelligence, wellness. So I offer that to the community, and I'll probably offer that again in a few weeks. And then after the masterclass, I decided that I am going to offer a 12-week coaching course. It is a group coaching course for 12 weeks. So any individual who took my e-course, if you came to the masterclass, and anybody that, sees this live or goes to my website, so this group coaching course, you actually have to apply to get in. And the reason why you have to apply to get in is because we want to make sure that who's coming in our wellness community is meant to be in our wellness community. Doesn't mean I want to exclude anyone, but I want to make sure that whoever comes into our community is dedicated to that community. And when I say dedicated to community, means that you're going to be dedicated to coming to our live sessions on a weekly basis. You're going to be dedicated to join in on the conversation in our course room sessions, because I really want to make sure the person is ready to go through a transformation, right? You're going to be spending your money. So it's important for you to be vested in it. So the group coaching course, you have to apply. And if you get in, it will be a discounted price. And because I'm doing this live with you tonight, the group coaching course is $14.95 at a regular price. But if anybody signs up between now and February 1st, you will get the group coaching 12-week course for $4.95. That will only be if you apply and get in. And then after the first, if you apply and get in, it will be back at the full price of $14.95. The e-course that I have is $40. So again, you can go on to there, and if you're interested, it is an asynchronous course, so you will get it. You can go on, watch it. You'll get some gems from me. And then our master courses will be probably on a more quarterly basis, because I do want to be able to host space, like a free opportunity for people to just come and join that master class. But the group coaching course, it is, and I'm only currently there's only going to be 20 slots available. But again, if you register between tonight and February 1st, you can get the group coaching course for $4.95.
I love it. So we are about to transition
Okay.
into our shop and sell. Listen, Tay just came on. Happy birthday, Taters.
Happy birthday, Tay.
You just popped in. Your sisters is in here. It's so many
Hi,
great people
sisters.
in here. Listen, thank you so much. This comment section is popping. People are saying you dropping gems. Let's go. First up, let's talk about this EI. It's Introduction to Emotional Intelligence. Let's talk about it.
Yep. So the information, the e-course, like I said, really was something we did for Black Friday, Mika. And it was important for us to get the information out. While I was the only person in our learning circle that was offering a service, other people were offering different products. I thought it was important for us to make sure we had something like that for our learning community. And then it grew to other people wanted to buy the EI course. So it is an introduction to emotional intelligence for leaders. And in that course, you learn skills on how to become more self-aware. It's important for you to become, again, socially aware of others, but also learn how to self-regulate, right? How are you becoming more self-aware of your team's needs? How do you build positive business relationships? Let's talk about that right there. Like, I just want to stop for a minute. Like, how do we talk about business relationships, right? Being able to partner with someone, being able to collaborate with people is so important, right? Because in our businesses, we can't do it all. We have to learn to leverage the individuals that understand business, understand the work that we do, and understand things we don't know how to do. So it's important to build positive business relationships, because as a community, we can't do it all. And in order for us to build our communities, we have to leverage each other. And then lastly, go ahead, Mika.
No, go ahead.
No. And then lastly, how do we make positive business decisions? Whether it is, whether you decide to, like me, pivot, how do you learn to pivot and level up and go from being just a professional development coach, but also to be a coach for leaders and entrepreneurs. A lot of people even here that have joined the live, I partner with them in so many different ways. We've been able to leverage each other. Ken is on here. We've been able to leverage each other and piggyback off of each other and throw ideas out to each other, right? And say, well, how does this sound? What does this make sense for the community? So it's important. So that EI course really is a good snapshot for leaders and entrepreneurs to be able to understand what emotional intelligence is and how they can start better to pivot in their role of leadership or entrepreneur and leverage those skills to, again, not only self-reflect and be self-aware and build up themselves professionally, but also how do they do it for their team members. For me, that's very important. It's not just about me. It's about my team members as well.
I see this like when you were talking, like I wish I could heart. I can't heart too.
It's okay. It's okay.
But no, I see this like for like teams, like coaching, like basketball and like football. If anybody knows like those type of people, like Dr. Bond, your courses and your coaching would work great with that, especially the younger ones that just come in, the younger young men or young women that come into these spaces and might be, having an ego, imposter syndrome, or, all these different things. I just see it just being so much bigger. So I know that, people on here might have a team, might have a company. Do you offer, they could go on and they could buy that in bulk, correct, for their team?
Absolutely. Yes, they can. And what's so great about emotional intelligence, Mika, you can use it in any type of environment, right? And I can actually, because I've become so skilled in it, I can actually create a whole package for a team, whether it's a basketball team, whether it's a football team, whether it's just a business that needs to help build their teams. Like I said, emotional intelligence can be done in any environment. It really is just about understanding and assessing what the team needs. So yes, while it is for entrepreneurs and leaders, it definitely can be done for a group, a team.
Yeah, I see it. And just talk about this awesome platform. Like, you gotta understand. I just want to just say this again. You're watching ABE Black Business Live. Our highlighted guest for tonight is Bond Consulting Group. Dr. Bond is the owner, and she is talking about her 3 levels. She already talked about one. We're on the second one. The first one is her free masterclass that she has, and it's going to be quarterly. And we'll talk about that later, how you see that going. And then 2, now we're talking about her introduction to emotional intelligence, okay? And this course is $40, it's on sale, but what I want to talk about is this sale. These platforms that Dr. Bond has her courses on, it costs money. And they're fly. They're not like you're getting an ebook and it's from Google Docs. No front, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on nobody. Understand that. You have to start somewhere. But what I'm saying to you, it's a quality structure that she has her courses on that makes it more easier on us, right? User friendly. It lets her be able to see if did the courses or not, right?
Absolutely.
Right? It lets her be able to contact you and keep in touch with you, ask you questions, email you, and y'all have start building a community together.
Absolutely.
So these are not like cheap things. She doesn't have her stuff on, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that she has it on her course is on great platforms. So this EI course is $40. I think you need to jump on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But what's the best part of the EI course that you think? Like, what's the part when you was doing it, you was like, oh, this really gonna help somebody? Like, what part was like, had you say, let's go?
I think the most important thing was to be able to, like you said, leverage that platform. So I use it on Thinkific, which is a course platform that you can actually use in many ways, right? So there's Thinkific. So there's a lot of platforms that you use, like Teachable. I mean, there's Kajabi. I mean, there's the things. The great thing about this is that I was able to do this myself. So for me, I'm one that always wants to challenge myself to learn something new, and I learned how to use the platform. So I literally can upload courses on there, similar to like a Facebook community. There's a online community that we would have as a community. So I think it's a really great opportunity, and it's for me. It made me felt like because for me, I got my doctorate, on a online university. So for me, it was so intriguing to see how we've shifted from that traditional learning of being in a classroom and being in sitting side by side with someone. And then when COVID hit, it was really more important that when I couldn't come out to do trainings in person, how could I use a platform that really was a great opportunity for me to connect with people. So definitely it's a great way for people to be able to sit at home and just take the course. And you can reach out to me. There was a consultation that came with it as well. So, if someone wants to consult with me to see what other resources I have, that's available to them as well.
Listen, Dom says, entertainment.
Hey, Dom.
You offer the trainer course, the I think you understand what she's saying.
Yeah, I understand what she's saying. She wants to know if I'm offering, like, how do I train other trainers to do EI course? Dom, not at this time. I'm not offering any train. Doesn't mean I wouldn't do it in at a later time. But if a person was, they would have to come through my coaching series first. And I would want to make sure that people could turnkey my content. I'm very particular about the content just because emotional intelligence is used, very broadly, widely. So I would have to train somebody on how I use it. So again, it wouldn't be something I would, not have on the table at a later date, but someone would really have to come through my coaching series and really be trained in it. Again, my professional background is in psychology, so I specialize in emotional intelligence for that reason, just because. But I definitely, it definitely would be something that I could offer at a later date, just not at this time.
So this EI course, thank you, Don. Thank y'all for all these trainers. Like, the comment section is popping. Listen, Dr. Bond. So
yeah,
this EI $40 course.
Yes.
It's an introduction to emotional intelligence, and we're going to get to the newer one, right?
Yeah.
But this introduction to emotional intelligence, what do you think the person will? What do you want the person to gain from this? What's the gain? What's the win?
For them, really, it's about the building confidence on how to use these skills in the workplace. I think oftentimes we don't have that confidence, and we're not sure how to use these skills. And again, I think the important thing is to not only build their skills as a leader entrepreneur, but also build skills in their team members. For me, if our team members are not happy, if they don't feel like they're growing professionally, we lose them. We lose them, right?
Yes,
so it's important.
The coaching community. She said, so what you saying is, yeah, let's go, Dom.
Yes, Dom. So it really is about how they can leverage themselves as a leader, but also to how they can build a team, because there is some key things in there about how to build teams and how to build professional relationships even outside. For me, I'm big on not just building my team, but again, most people that's on this call are extensions of who I am, or I should say extensions of who I've become as a professional, because they had dropped dimes into me.
Amen.
Drop some gems into me, and now I'm doing the same thing. So a lot of people on here I have partnered with in different ways, and it's always been professional and always been healthy relationships. Most of these people that you see on here, some people that I see are popping up. We've worked together in other jobs together, and we've all ventured out into doing our own consulting companies, and we've been able to still build and continue to have those relationships even outside of a job, and that's important.
I think the flyest part is how you flipped it to the entrepreneurs. Something about when they say entrepreneur, my eyes just be like, people are entrepreneurs in so many different ways.
And don't realize that they're leaders either.
Yeah, and leaders in so many different ways. So when Dr. Bond say leader, she's not talking about the president of the United States. Sometimes you're a leader in your household. Sometimes you're a leader in your job and you don't even have that title. Sometimes you're a leader. It doesn't have to be like you're just. And entrepreneurship doesn't mean like you have a business and it's brick and mortar. You know,
Yes.
you could be a DJ. You know, you could be a florist. You could
Yes.
be that's a business. That's an entrepreneur. It could be a hobby
Mhm.
that you're turning into, like, it could be you have a podcast. Am I
Yes.
correct? Like,
Absolutely. And even with the podcast, right? The podcast conversations are based on what you know your audience wants, based on what your customer needs. And I think that's what's important for us to understand, that even with emotional intelligence, it's not just about ourselves. It is about being very conscious of what the customer, your client, or your community may need from you. I've also used these skills even in my, in my community, as an advocate, for my community. I've used these skills and been able to leverage it as well. So definitely important.
I want to talk about you too, Dr. Bond, about the things that you do in the community, the grant that you got. Like, these are all the skills that Dr. Bond has, all the transferable skills, all the things that she has done, all the hours that she has put in, makes her price be the price it is. So as Black people, when you see Black, I think y'all probably seen this meme, the lady was going off, like, when you see Black, it don't mean cheap. When you see Black, it don't mean.
Yes.
Her price is her price. These classes transform lives. Okay, so, and it's not just your life. Once you transform, you could get that to your family. And once you get that to your family, you could get that to your community. Let's talk about the community building that you do with our good friend Shakia.
So Shakia and I have done a lot of work together just in education, and we've received a grant from the city just around how we can better support our students and young people in communities around this whole gun violence, right? Like, every day you hear something on the news, just in our own personal experiences, us knowing someone that may have been a victim of gun violence, or been the person that actually committed a crime. And it just was important for us to make sure that we always give back, no matter what title I had, no matter what degree we have, no matter where we may move to. It's always important for her and I to always give back to the communities that we grew up in. So Shakia and I have done a lot of great work together over many, many years, of just working in a school together, and then turning around, and then giving back, doing it in turnkey, and a lot of it in the community. We do a lot of work around college awareness, career awareness. So that all those things have been a reason why we have used our skills to be able to build positive relationships and have people trust us when we talk about helping to build out our communities. But it's really important for us to just do this work. Again, growing up, I didn't know a Black psychologist. So it was important for me to be an example for my students and for my friends and family. So it's important for us to do that.
Yeah, what I always say, you don't read doctor, I know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
like, you know, it's like that sometimes. Like, it's
yes.
those things. Like, I was talking to a gentleman, and he said back in the day he missed somebody's wedding, and he said that he didn't know why the person was so upset that he missed the wedding. Now he knows, because he has his own wedding, and he knows that price for that person. These are all things, like, we think off the bat that somebody knows. That's why that person probably was mad, right?
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
and because you're grown, right? You thinking, this is how we think. I'm just going to say it.
Yes.
You are this age. You don't know that?
Yes.
It's a lot of things you don't know at this age. If you really, if you haven't been through them, if you haven't done them, like I said, transparent with y'all earlier. Like, I know what emotional intelligence is, but when you said the word, I knew that's what I needed.
Right.
And I think that's the disconnect with our community. Like, we don't have the words. Like, when I'm in therapy, as soon as I go to therapy, he says, "How do you feel?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's not a feeling."
Yes, I tell people all the time. Like,
I hate that fucking circle. He do this fucking circle, and the circle got all these emotions.
It has all the words, right? All the emotions that you feel. I tell them, even when we do those with adults, like, we do this thing where it's like, when I come to staff meetings, or we come to our meeting with our young people, like, what's your feeling word? You cannot tell me you are good.
Okay.
What do you feel? Okay, it's not a feeling, Dom. Yes, okay, it's not a feeling. What does that mean? Because we have to learn to be we have to learn to self-express ourselves, right? We learn to express who you are. How do you feel? And it'd be okay for you to say, this time I'm feeling today. Today I'm not feeling, I'm stressed, right? And then that allows somebody in your community, I always tell you better check back with that person that said they were feeling stressed today, or they were frustrated, or, you know, it just wasn't the way that they wanted their day to go. And when they express that it's not going the way they want it to go, you need to check on that person.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
So
I think a lot of that is because as kids we are taught in our Black community to suppress our feelings. Like
yeah,
you don't have feelings, like you do what you told, and you just you got to be okay.
you go. You just go.
You just got to be okay. You crying? What you crying for? Like
Right.
you never got the chance to really fully and this is changing. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like people are like learning to parent and learning to be a friend. You know, even that, like, I ain't your friend. That's what
Right.
your parent would say. Like,
Right.
learn to be a friend to their child.
Yes.
And I just see how my sister raised my nephew was totally different
Yes.
than how we were raised.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So these feelings, this EI class led to this 12-week, master class that is just a bunch of greatness.
Yes.
Dr. Bond is giving us a discount till February 3rd. The class first. The class will start the 15th or the 16th.
February 16th. So it'll be like a wellness Wednesday check-in will be the first actual day of the coaching series, and then it'll be 12 weeks after that. And again, we want to make sure that we're holding space and that we're covering things. So if you do the EI course, again, that's around leaders and entrepreneurs and how you use emotional intelligence in the workplace. Then the master class that I offer on a quarterly basis, which was free to the community, we really dug into the conversation about how do you build a mindful mindset. Like, how do you get in this mindset? We deal with burnout, stress, we're frustrated, especially when it comes to being a leader and entrepreneur, right? Being an entrepreneur and being a leader is not an easy task. Every day is something different. How do we deal with when we don't get a sale? How do we deal when we don't get that contract? How do we deal when we bought all this merchandise and it ain't going nowhere, right? So how do you make sure that you stay true to what you want to do and stay true to your business and not become frustrated that you give up or that you pivot to something else because that didn't work and then you got a whole bunch of stuff sitting in your house that you never sold, right? So being more intentional and setting goals for yourself. Seeing what the market needs, seeing what your clients need, see what your customers need. So it's not always about just you. So when I thought about services, while I can train teams, educators, I could train multiple people, I had to be very strategic on what my targeted audience was. And I realized that in my own experience as a leader and now an entrepreneur, I had to use ways or find ways to use the skills that I had to then better support other leaders and entrepreneurs. And what I can give people is a coaching series, is an EI course, is something that they can use over time and time again, and make sure that they're always checking to make sure that whatever they're offering as a service is always a quality service. But you can't have quality services if you're not mentally well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the 12 weeks. Let's go. We got 12 weeks. Let's talk about it.
So the 12-week course, it is, again, $14.95 if you don't get it on sale now. So please, I'm only taking 20 people for this first round. We will do it multiple times in the year, but I only have 20 slots. So if you're interested in this, you can go to the link tree that Mika pinned on here, and you can actually fill out the application. If you actually apply between now and February 1st, remember, between now and February 1st, this is not a group coaching series on just some random things. It is around a combination of emotional intelligence. We talk about a mindful mindset. So how do we have a growth mindset? Like sometimes we have this fixed mindset that my business should be this way. It should turn, I should be able to do this. I should be able to get this result. And sometimes that is not always the case. So sometimes we have to learn the skills on ways, again, how to pivot when we want our business to go a certain way and it may not go that way. How can you then transfer, not give up, and how do you transfer that mindset to be more flexible, that sometimes those experiences are experiences that we need to have to learn to better build the business. Then we talk about, okay, how do we be more mindful on how we respond to things, life experiences, just not our business experiences, but even our personal experiences. How do we better respond to, your spouse, your child, your family, as it reflects, and how you reflect those things in your day-to-day life. Then we talk about spirituality, energy. Now, while everybody may not believe in the same religion or anything like that, it's important for us to bring in that positive energy. You know me, I'm one to sage my home, bless my home, pray over my home, because I'm always cognizant of, like, whatever happens during the week, I need to pray over my space. I'm not bringing any negative energy home. So there's different skills that I teach you. There are different ways in which you can learn to bring in positive energy. How do you project that back out to your business? How do you project that back out to your life in order to receive more positive things in your life? It's all about how we think, all about what we do, and all about what we say, right? What do we say? Making sure that you're saying positive things and making sure those things project back to you. And then we talk about, having a mindful, like just being mindful about your finances. How do you make business decisions? How do you spend your money? Ways in which you can get grants for your business. All those things are important because it's very stressful to run a business. It's very stressful. So the course, is on sale now for $4.95 if you apply and get accepted between now and February 1st. Again, between now and February 1st, if you apply and get accepted, it will be $4.95. If you apply and get accepted after February 1st, it is a full price of $14.95. It is $14.95, you guys, because I'm not just a coach. I am a doctor. I am a psychologist and have over 20 years experience. So all those things that you are going to get is because I have the knowledge, the experience, and I have the degree to tell you so.
And the experience is the experience to me, Dr. Bond, and not just the experience, like you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk. Mm-hmm. When I came in your apartment that day, I was like, what the F is this? And you said, you said you finished, you said I was meditating. Mm-hmm. I said, what's that? You said, come on. Yeah. And I felt like a fool. Like it was weird to me. Like I prayed before. We all know what praying is, but like absolutely. Meditating for white people. That's something I seen Tina Turner doing. We was laughing at on her movie in my line. Right? That's what it was. So I when I did it, I was just like, wow, like, can I do this? Like, is she better than me? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, do she know more than me to like do this? And when you do it, this is just my personal experience. When you do it, you do feel a little like weird, like I don't know, like uncomfortable, like somebody saying happy birthday to you. Like, you know that feeling when somebody when y'all sing happy birthday, you just don't know what to do. Yes. And the more you do it, you start understanding.
Mika, our lives are so fast and quick. Everything is, I gotta get it done. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to here. I gotta, it's so, sister said, like, it's so peaceful, right? And it really allows you to just have a calm space, right? To understand what's going on right now in your life. And sometimes the things that are going on right now in our lives, sometimes aren't even about us. It's about what we're doing and how we're giving back to others. So for me, when I learned to be more self-reflective, I fast, I pray. I realized that, the degrees I have and things, I've always been one to give to my community. And I've always been one to see how I can use the skills I have to help other people. And now I had to level up. What's the next level? The next level is help the adults that are around me and the adults that are in my life or the adults that don't know me. And when I say you should apply if you feel the energy, if you feel like this is something for you as a leader or entrepreneur, because I do want to take you on a journey and help you transform. So throughout the course, you're going to have goals that you need to set and keep. And if we don't feel like this goal is going well, we self-reflect on, okay, we might change this goal, but what are the tasks that you really need to get done? And what are the boxes you need to check off? But what are the strategies and skills you need to have and keep so that when you come across this goal, when you come across the next goal, that they're transferable. So there are a lot of transferable skills that I teach. And again, that's why I said the emotional intelligence is the basis of my business, because again, it can be transferable in multiple fields of work. Most people that are on here are entrepreneurs. They're not necessarily, educators, but maybe never have gone through a professional development training as an entrepreneur. Right? We get trainers on how to be entrepreneur. We get trainers on how to run the business. But then what happens to us mentally when the business isn't growing or running the way we want it to run? So that's really what I felt like I needed to give back to people.
Yeah, that's why you stop. That's why you stop. And you never know why you stop. But that's because you just not build up to have those skills. I mean, Dr. Bond, just like you were saying, some people come from a lineage of lawyers. So when they laugh at Kim Kardashian, like she comes from a lineage of lawyers. Why are you laughing at her? That's in her lineage, right?
Absolutely.
So if you don't have a lineage of entrepreneurs, right, and you're the first one doing this, not as a hobby, like consistent, who is teaching y'all that mental, who's giving you that mental space? Nobody. Like, you have to search for it. You have to, God, I know you how long? I didn't know nothing about knowing. I had to watch you on a thing and say, that's what I needed. Like, I wish I had that when we had.
And we've been friends for how long? We've been on each other for how long, right? Because even with the friendships, we see each other as friends. We know each other. We got your business. You're doing your thing. Even with you, when I'm like, Mika, half the stuff you did on Dom's podcast, I'm like, wait, I know Mika's a stylist and I know she did this. And I was like, I didn't know all about that. And we've been friends forever.
When you said that emotional intelligence, I was like, that's what we needed started out. So like, if you are an entrepreneur on here and you're starting out, start out on top. Start out winning. Start out, set yourself up for success. I thought setting us up for success was more about getting funding, going to the Fox School of Business. We got continuous learning degrees in there.
Yes.
Why don't they teach you that there? Like,
and Mika, when you think about it, and I just want people to just go online and look at some of the job listings that are out now. They're asking for people to have emotional intelligence skills.
Say that again.
We have gone, I'm saying people can go online now and you can search any job. They're asking for you to have emotional intelligence skills. With this whole pandemic that we've done, and have gone through, what it's done to our community, people are not coming back to spaces and coming back to jobs the same way they left 2 years ago. How many jobs now are offering mental wellness and all these different services, and you can go to employee assistance programs because people don't feel well? How many nutrition programs do you see out now? Because people really have learned to see that it's not just about the day-to-day tasks and day-to-day jobs. Our people need to be well, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationships, all those things are important. So when you look at jobs, I'm telling you right now, they're looking for emotional intelligence skills as another key skill on how they hire people and retain people.
Say this again. I want you to talk to people about this one more time because it's important. When I was up in hell, and when I was in hell, this white lady told me, you have Cigna. You have to have employee assistance program, EAP. He said, they mess with you at this job. You can't leave. They're going to give you somebody to help you. Listen. And I said, how much it costs? She said, it's free. Her name was Tina. She talked like she had cigarettes all the time. She called me every week. Listen, she did the nutrition with me. She let me vent. She let me know I wasn't the only person going through these things at different jobs, because they're not affiliated. They're not affiliated with your job. Understand that. So when you're talking to them, tell them what EAP is.
So it's employee assistance program, and it basically helps, like, if someone feels stressed or need just some wellness information, mental health information. Not necessarily saying that they're therapists, but they are a resource for you if you feel like you need some support and it's not a direct service that the director is going to give you, your supervisor is going to give you. So if you have those needs and you're going through and experiencing anything that's affecting you mentally, emotionally, physically, you do have that resource if you have insurance. What I always say is that is a great resource. It is a great resource for you to have. But I want to also offer something additional in addition to that.
No. This will lead you to here. Like
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. Like they would be like, go to Dr. Bond, right? They would be like, go to therapy.
Yeah.
They would be like, go to a nutritionist.
And I've even encouraged team members on other teams that I lead, you know, take an emotional intelligence, assessment. Those are things we do in the course as well. Take an emotional intelligence assessment so you could drill down on the things that you are well in and the things that you need some support. I never talk about challenges or like what are some barriers, but what do you do well in, and what are some things you need to work on? So
now, what is that assessment? What does that like? Just tell them what the assessment is a little bit further. Like
so the emotional intelligence assessment will have you answer a series of questions based on the key emotional intelligence concepts. So self-awareness, again, remember self-awareness, emotional regulation, social awareness, positive decision making, as well as healthy relationships. And basically, when you take those assessments and you answer those assessments, it's able to score where you score high on certain areas and where you score lower, and where you need to actually build up those skills. And then there's actual strategies and activities that you can do in order to build those skills. Me as a leader, what I normally do is take those skills, and then when we're in different situations or creating, or trying to complete different tasks, I'll use those results to be saying, how can I use those results to help you build up that skill that you needed to, help build on. So in our course, that's what we would do.
Listen, these are all the things that you're going to get in this 12-week course. Please apply now. Apply tonight. The EI course, if you haven't already gotten it, please get that tonight. It's $40. It's on sale. It's right there, the link tree. You could go to Dr. Bond's link tree. You could go to my link tree. It'll be on there after here. This replay will be on YouTube. You can send it to anybody that needs it, needs to hear this. Almost like a podcast. They can listen to this when they're at the gym. Just utilize it like that. I also want to ask you, what's the importance of a group? Let's go.
The importance of a group is to hold community space, right? It's nothing like having a community of people that are on, in your corner, is able to give you positive feedback, constructive feedback, right? Because sometimes the constructive feedback, you may not feel it's positive, but sometimes they may see something that you don't see. But it's important for us to be able to hold community. I think that's what we often forget about when we are leaders and entrepreneurs, and we don't have a community of people that are like-minded, that are on some of the same missions that we're on, being able to leverage that. And then again, after you finish the course, now you have a community of people you can always reach out to, that you can always connect with, which is why it's important for us to have somebody, people to apply to the community and making sure that they are ready for what we're offering, but at the same time, they are ready to be able to transform and give what they need to give in order to leverage these skills that's important.
Okay, before we leave, just go over the 3 different levels that you are offering.
So the 3 different levels is, the first level is an e-course. So it's an asynchronous course where you go on, you can watch it at your, leisure, whenever you want to watch it. You do get an opportunity to, you get a certificate at the end, of course, but you can go on and actually take the course. It is a quick mini course. It gives you a quick snapshot of what emotional intelligence is. And then what I did was I offer a free masterclass for our community. Anybody that wants to join can do that, and we usually do that on a quarterly basis. And then the 12-week course that we offer, I pretty much take all of the content from the e-course and the content that we covered in the masterclass and put it into a 12-week course where you actually get to build out these skills individually while working in a community setting. So while we are working in a group coaching model, the tasks and the activities are going to be geared to you individually, and you identify the things that you want to work on throughout the 12-week course.
I love it, Dr. Bond. You're gonna end this out. You need to tell us where to follow you at, where we find you at. And
Absolutely.
after that, we're going to let you bring us home.
Thank you. So you can find me on social media at underscore Dr. Bond underscore on IG, or you can follow my business page at B as in Bond, C as in cat, G as in go, underscore LLC. So you can find me both on my personal page as well as my business page, or you can check out my website at www.bond, BOND, consult, CONSULT group.com. You can go into my website and read more about who I am, the services I provide. And if you want to take the e-course, you actually can go on there and actually purchase the e-course online from there, or you can do it on my link tree on my page. You go straight to my link tree. The link is on both my business and personal page, and you can just get any of the service. You can look at my website, you can get the e-course, or you can actually apply to the group coaching course.
Listen, send this to someone that needs these courses. Send this as, like I said, just like if it was a podcast, send this to anybody that you know that's an entrepreneur, leader, or someone that just needs to learn about emotional intelligence. Send this to your employer. You know, send this to your think about having these courses and these trainings at your job. And talk to your people, and don't always be the person saying this is wrong. Offer some.
Absolutely. I definitely can do something personalized. Like outside of this, I do EI consulting, which is something separate if they want something like for their jobs and want like a more team specifically for their jobs. We can talk about that too. But we can talk about that. We can schedule a consultation call so you can do something personally for yourself. And if you think that your job or your team at your job wants something more customized, I can customize for a company.
All right. So listen, everybody, tonight we are buying EI courses. And that's the introduction to emotional intelligence. That is $40. Tonight we are applying for the masterclass 12-week class. Okay. And that if you do that by February 1st and you are accepted, the price is $495.
Absolutely.
Understand. What you're going to gain is much more than that. And Dr. Bond, bring us home.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. I want you to be able to take this opportunity to connect with me any way you want to connect with me. Even if you're not ready yet, please just connect with me if you feel like it's something that you need. But definitely take the time, go on my website. If you want to purchase the course, please purchase the course. If you really just want to see what I offer, you can take the e-course and see what I provide as a service in regards to an e-course. But definitely, once you take the e-course, you're not going to be upset. You're going to then want to take, because most of the people that took my e-course came and actually joined our masterclass and will be applying to the community. Remember, I'm only taking 20 people at this time. If you don't get in this time, you'll have to wait for the next round of the 12-week course. But thank you, Mika, All Black Everything Pop-Up. I appreciate you and appreciate everybody that joined this evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bond. You can X yourself out. It should be right on the right-hand corner. And listen, thank you, everybody, for coming to ABE's Black Business Live. All Black Everything Pop-Up curates, okay, these commerce spaces for Black businesses to make money, tell their stories, grow, and learn. So any questions, anything you want to know, please go to Dr. Bond's page. It is pinned right here at BCG_LLC. When you go there, she has a link tree, and it's when I say it's beautiful, right? But she has all the different things that she offers. You can also go to her website from there too and sign up for a consultation. You know what I mean? If you want to ask more questions or in detail questions, she is very calm, and she is very interested and intentional on helping us, and it's genuine. So that's all for tonight. Every Friday at 9 p.m. we will be doing ABE Black Business Live. Tell a friend, share it with someone you know. Let them know that we are here and we are here to stay. So, got something for you though. We got a date next Friday, and it's with Tisa Rose, and she's going to be showing us her Valentine's Day, okay, flower arrangements, balloons, and candy combo that she is doing for the local Philadelphia tri-state area for Valentine's Day. And she's a Black owned business. Beautiful, beautiful person, great family. Hear her story, see her beautiful, how she got into floral design, okay, and why she loves it so much, and hear her story. And we're going to be shopping and selling with her at 9:30. That's our time that we shop and sell, and we're going to be placing some pre-orders for Valentine's Day. So you don't want to miss Tisa Rose next week, okay, on ABE's Black Business Live. My name is Mika Johnson. I'm the curator of All Black Everything. Thank you. Good night.